vibration.
Good morning, Mose.
Morning.
Grand Rising, as Baba David said, Grand Rising this morning. So as we begin service this morning, we ask the Creator for guidance. We ask the Creator to continue to keep us in the way. And we pray that whatever we do today brings someone something that is so needed.
Yeah.
So we ask that in the name of our Most High. We say Ashe.
Ashe. Ashe.
And now we'll have our affirmation by Baba Ustadi. So Minister Bill, would you put it on the screen for us, please? Here we go.
You ain't gotta do that. Greetings, Wolsey.
Greetings.
This is the time that we affirm what we think we should be affirming. And for those who don't know what we're affirming, just repeat. And then think about what you think about that you're thinking you're reaffirming.
Break it down.
We will know God's truth to be free and self-determined.
Creator, help us to remember the humanity, glory, and suffering of our ancestors.
And to honor the struggles of our elders.
Could we stand up, please? Let us strive to bring new vision and life to our people. Let there be peace and harmony among us.
Let us be loving, sharing, and creative. Let us work, study, and listen. So may we learn, teach, and cultivate self-reliance.
Grant us power, O Holy One, as we struggle to resurrect our hearts and our homeland.
We will raise our children according to the needs of our nation, with discipline, patience, devotion, and courage. We will strive to be the living models of the new direction of our people.
We are an African people.
We are the children of God.
We are children of God. Ashe.
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 Thank you, Baba Ustadi. And now we'll have music from the Sounds of Maat.
Excuse my voice today, family. Not under the weather. 1, 2, 3. Sisters have been here, present, and accounted for. Ancestors up in here, present, and accounted for. Ancestors up in here, present, and accounted for. Thank you for your sacrifice. We want to thank you. For your sacrifice, we wanna thank you. To the top, ancestors up in here, present and accounted for. Ancestors up in here, present and accounted for. Ancestors up in here, present and accounted for. Sisters up in here, present and accounted for. Thank you for your sacrifice. We want to thank you. Thank you for Ancestors up in here, present and accounted for. Ancestors up in here, present and accounted for. Yeah, y'all sing it. Ancestors up in here, present and accounted for. 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 Ancestors up here, present and accounted for. We wanna thank you. Thank you for your sacrifice. Thank you for your sacrifice. Thank you for your sacrifice. Take it to the top. Ancestors up in here, present and accounted for. 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 Let's say I'll play us a piano, play us something. Ancestors up in here, present and accounted for. 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 Thank you, Sounds of Maat. Thank you. We'll hear more from them later. We've come to that time in our service. We've come to that time in our service that we call our historical tribute. It's a time that we take out each and every Sunday to pay honor, to pay homage, to pay tribute to some significant, not necessarily famous, but significant person, place, or event, or organization in our history. I want to ask Minister Imhotep to get ready. He's going to show our slideshow today, but before I introduce this morning's speaker, I want to say a couple of things. I've had many highlights here at the Vose in my 30 plus years membership. Some of the music that I led as the director of the Stones, some of the songs were highlights. Some of my historical tributes were highlights. But I remember back in 1989, I did my absolute first historical tribute, right? And back then, I was vetted and I was allowed to do the historical tribute by the sister that I'm about to introduce now, right? Now, back in those days, I may be mistaken, but I think back in those days, we were brothers and sisters. We didn't call each other mamas and babas back then. We were brothers and sisters. But this sister, as I said, introduced me to my 35 years ago, introduced me to my first historical tribute, and now I have the honor and the extreme privilege of introducing her for historical tribute. Wose, I want you to stand on your feet and welcome Wose royalty, Mama Keisha, for her historical tribute.
Okay, don't make me cry, y'all. All praises to the ancestors up in here, present and accounted for. We're here because of the graciousness, the beauty, the success of our ancestors.
Hold on, there's somebody's not muted.
Okay, somebody's not muted.
It's somebody online, not us.
It's a man's world,
see.
but
Let
it
me see
wouldn't be
participants.
nothing without a woman or a girl. These are the words of the famous philosopher and musician, the mighty James Brown. So I started this tribute to show the wives of so many men. But the further I delved into the subject of the lives of these women, the more I understood that this is a woman's world. And it wouldn't be nothing without a brother, with a man or boy. The greatness of some of these partners often is what allowed the men to make the contributions that they did.
Tell the truth. That's right.
I began with Booker T. Washington, who started a school called an institute that has risen now to become a famous university.
Yes, yes.
As I researched the wife of Booker T. Washington, I discovered that there were 3 wives.
Hey.
There were 3 Mrs. Washingtons. Each of them made a significant contribution to the early growth and development of Tuskegee. So I chose to focus on them today. And at the end, I'm going to provide you with a list of some of the names of partners of some of the famous people. Okay, the first Mrs. Washington was Fanny Smith Washington, in her picture. Maybe later we can get her picture up there. She was born in Malden, West Virginia. Smith and Booker T. Washington lived in this community and were acquainted from an early age. Smith grew up in a rural area without a lot of opportunities for education, especially for black women. However, she was able to pursue advanced studies through hard work and determination. As a young woman, she attended a local school in Malden that had about 80 or 90 students. Her intellect and determination attracted the attention of her teacher at the time, Booker T. Washington.
Right now.
He was only 2 years older than Fanny. And he at that time paid special attention to promising students and often prepared them to enter Hampton University.
All right.
These students were known locally as Booker Washington's boys. She was the only girl among the group. She was admitted to Hampton, but she also struggled to pay her fees. And she temporarily left Hampton in 1878. For the next 2 years, she worked as a teacher in Malden in order to save money for her own education. In addition to a daily 3-mile walk to and from the school, Smith was uh, was also acting as primary caregiver for her mother. In January of 1880, 2 years later, she made her final payment of $48 on her delinquent school fees. And the school was very impressed, and the principal, Marshall, placed her on the roll of honor as a student who had paid their debts in full from their earnings as teachers as otherwise. So all that she had to do, she went back and paid that fee.
All right now.
With her bills paid, Fanny Smith returned to Hampton, graduating in 1882. After her graduation from Hampton, she and Booker T. Washington were married at Rice Zion Baptist Church in Malden on August 2nd of 1882. She was 24 years old and he was 26. The new couple moved to Tuskegee, Alabama, where Washington had accepted a position as the principal of a new school. You know what that school was. The Washingtons rented a large house and soon invited 4 other faculty members of the Tuskegee to board with them. Fanny assumed the responsibility of institute housekeeper. She would also immediately join the faculty of the new institute and is credited with broadening the curriculum for female students. Remember, we're talking about in the 1800s where everything was really skewed towards men. Well, she developed broadened the curriculum for female students and developed the school's home economic department. Her husband described her, their symbiotic working relationship and Smith's dedication to the school's early stages, stating, "From the first, she most earnestly devoted her thoughts and time to the work of the school and was completely one with me in every interest and ambition." Now, this is when he was building his reputation. Who was right there? Fanny Smith. Smith gave birth to the couple's only child, Portia Marshall Washington, in 1883. On May 4th, 1884, Fanny Smith Washington suddenly died. Unknown illness. An account of her death published in the Alumni Journal contained the following. Her death is indeed a serious bereavement to Mr. Washington, whose acquaintance and regard for this deceased had begun in their childhood. Their happy union had done much to lighten the arduous duties developing upon him in the management of the school. To his friends, he had several times expressed the great comfort his family life was to him. So here he was, 26, 28 years old, young wife, young baby. She dies. The second Mrs. Washington was Olivia Davidson. She was born on June 11th, 1854, a Gemini, in Mercer County, West Virginia. Prior to the Civil War, her parents, an enslaved person recently freed and a free woman of color, moved to Ohio, where she attended a segregated school in Ironton and later the Albany Enterprise Institute, a school run by and for free Black people. After graduating, she started teaching small children in Gallipolis, and in 1872, followed her sister Margaret to Mississippi to help educate freed children. Still working on the building. Olivia Davidson taught for 4 years in the Memphis, Tennessee public school system. She returned home to Ohio due to the concerns about yellow fever and increased violence against Blacks. The Ku Klux Klan actually killed her brother-in-law. There was a lot of lynching going on, so she went back to okay. A scholarship sponsored by the wife of the then president Rutherford B. Hayes enabled her to join the senior class at Hampton. She came in as a senior. It was called Hampton Normal and Agricultural Institute. An impressed teacher, Mrs. Mary Hemingway of Boston, sponsored her to continue her education at the State Normal School at Framingham, Massachusetts. She graduated from Hampton in 1881, and Booker T. Washington recruited her to Alabama to help him build the new Tuskegee Institute. Her considerable experience helped her shape the curriculum of the Institute's normal school during its formative years. Here we are talking about the base, the foundation on which to build. I'm sorry, the light is not as good as I need. She was a tireless recruiter and fundraiser, leading local efforts and reaching out to Northern community during a period of meager state funding. So she was very attractive and she knew how to do this. So she went all over raising money for the school. In April '86, Davidson delivered an address to the Alabama State Teachers Association in Selma titled, "How Shall We Make the Women of Our Race Stronger?"
All right.
She urged that Black girls needed better access to education and argued for their self-improvement through reading clubs, temperance, and community engagement.
Beautiful.
We're not talking about somebody in 2000, we're talking about somebody in 1881.
Thank you.
After the death of his first wife, Fanny Smith Washington, Olivia married Booker T. Washington. The couple had 2 children, Booker Jr. and Ernest. Twice having suffered from consumption, her health never recovered from exposure from Ernest's birth and an accidental house fire in February 1889. She passed away May 9th at the age of 34 after receiving treatment in Boston. Her husband paid tribute to her in his own biography and in a letter to his mentor, General Armstrong. Few will ever know what she has done for Tuskegee and for me.
Beautiful. Thank you.
It's a man's work. It's a woman's work. Okay, and the third Mrs. Washington
Come on with it.
was, I'm sorry. The third Mrs. Washington was,
Take your time. You're fine.
I don't know why they're out of order here. Was Margaret Murray. Now, she was born March 9th in Macon, Mississippi in the early 1860s. So that made her a bit younger than Booker T. Washington. She was one of 10 children born to sharecroppers, an Irish immigrant father and a Black American mother who was a washerwoman and possibly a former enslaved woman. Her father died when she was 7, and that day, and the day after his death, she began living with a Quaker couple. They encouraged her to become a teacher and which was one of the few occupations available to women outside of the home. As a child, she spent much of her time reading and quickly excelled in school. By the age of 14, she was so advanced in her studies that the school offered her a teaching position. Determined to further her teaching career, at the age of 19, Murray enrolled in Fisk University, where she completed the college preparatory course in 5 years and completed college in 4. Okay. It's a man's word. Murray and met Booker T. Washington at Fisk University. She was making a speech. Regarding her as a model student, Washington asked her to assume the position of lady principal, which had formerly been held by his second wife, Olivia Davidson. By 1890, Murray was writing to Washington to express her deep feelings. They were married in 1893. And they shared a home with Washington's relatives and his children from his previous marriage until they moved to the Oaks, which was built for them especially. Though Washington still mourned for his 2 previous wives, and I understand that. He believed that Margaret provided a well-balanced household, and the 2 were reportedly happy with their marriage. Margaret wrote Washington's speeches and helped her husband in expanding the school. Here we go again. Helped him expand the school and traveled with him on his tours and speaking engagements. So this woman had a large number of skills that she could give to Tuskegee. In 1890, Murray was hired as lady principal of Tuskegee. In that role, she was responsible for supervising women students and supporting men on to Tuskegee's faculty. She established the women's division curriculum for the lower and postgraduate divisions in sewing, laundry, millinery, soap making, table setting, cooking, and broom making. Household skills. During her tenure as lady principal of Tuskegee, she also created the Tuskegee Women's Club. A significant endeavor of the Women's Club was the restoration of the Elizabeth Russell Plantation, located 8 miles outside of Tuskegee. The place was described by Washington as an area populated with former convicts, where children were undisciplined and the homes were unkept. For 12 years, she, alongside other social reformers in Tuskegee, Black women, sought to rehabilitate the community through the strengthening of family structures. The Tuskegee Women's Club later merged local organizations with women's clubs to help improve the values and liberation of womanhood in Black women in the Jim Crow South. She pulled together other organizations, Unity, Family, Community, Nation, and Race.
Yeah.
In 1895, she gave an influential speech titled Individual Work for Moral Elevation at the First National Conference of the Colored Women of America and was elected president of the newly established National Federation of Afro-American Women. I'm going to stop reading at this point because there is so much that Margaret Murray Washington contributed to the growth of Tuskegee, the growth of African women, the growth of African men, and the growth of this country as a whole. I could go on. I have this written up, somebody else, but I wanted to be sure and end with a tribute to some of the women who stood, like Fannie Smith and Olivia Davidson and Margaret Murray, who stood with their men.
Yeah.
And the men got the credit, they didn't.
Yeah.
And we don't mind, as long as we as a people move forward.
That's right, that's right.
And so I just want to mention some of their names and challenge some of you to go out and look them up. James Weldon Johnson's wife was Grace Nail Johnson. What a story. Paul Robeson's wife, some of us might know, Eslanda Good Roberson. She was a mother jumper. Okay. This sister was tough. El Haj Malik Shabazz, Betty Shabazz. And a lot know some things about her, but what a powerful woman she was. What a powerful woman she was. And then we have Marilee Evers, who Medgar Evers and her built something so special in Mississippi. They built something so special that even that fool who shot him down in front of his children couldn't kill him. And we all benefit. So when we say the ancestors are in the house, yeah, Medgar Evers, Marilee Evers, is she still on this side? No, she went across, I think, a year or two ago. And then Martin Luther King, Coretta Scott King. Many of us know more about her than we do about other people. But she had to be a worker. Frank S. Green, a scientist down in Palo Alto who expanded the capability of the computer so it could move faster. And that program is named after him, Frank S. Green. I couldn't find anything on his wife, Phyllis Green. And the reason we have computers running like they are is because of Frank Green. No, I couldn't find anything on her, but we know her name, Phyllis Green. Robert Moses, educator. Let me not take more of your time, but Robert Moses' wife, Janet Jemott, Jemmt, Barack Obama, Michelle Robinson Obama, Frederick Douglass, Anne Murray Douglass. What a woman. And later Helen Pitts. Chester Burnett. Anybody know who Chester Burnett is? Chester Burnett. Howlin' Wolf. He had a wife named Lily Hanley Burnett who allowed him to, first of all, go back and get an education when he was an old grown man, but also she helped him set up his organization so that his musicians got paid on time and they had insurance. So he had no problem getting good musicians because his business was together. And that was because of Lily Hanley Burnett. Asa Hilliard, oh my goodness. Patsy Joe Hilliard was mayor of their little town for 12 years. He also was on the school board of South San Francisco School District. Nathan Hare, Julia Hare, we know her back there. Reverend Fred Shuttlesworth, Ruby Lynette Keeler, what a woman. And Sapphira Shuttleworth continued his work. John Lewis, Lillian Miles Lewis, and Wade Nobles, Vera Nobles. The historical tribute, the Wosay Community Church today is dedicated to the work, to the worth of all these women who work so hard, some of who we don't know about, but all who benefited us and our people in this country. Ancestors up in here, present and accounted for. I share.
Very good. Thank you very much.
This is the man's word. But it would be nothing without a woman or a girl. Yeah, this morning, my Keisha Switch the words of the song. This morning we gonna say this is a woman's world. This is a woman's world. But it wouldn't be nothing without a man or a boy. Mama Keisha flipped the switch. Rightfully so. Thank you, ancestors. Thank you, my sister, for all that you've done.
Yes.
And now more music from the sounds of Maat. First of all, thank you, Mama Keisha, for such a wonderful storytelling. Thank you. Sounds of Maat. As we prepare for the litany of sacrifice, let me say thank you to the sounds of you sound amazing. You sound amazing. You are all individual talents. It's Brother Will on the keyboards.
Yeah.
Brother Ron on the drums, Brother AJ on the bass, and they are led by a guitar player and their musical director, Baba David. And as you see, sometimes Baba David gets instructions from Sankar. So as we prepare the screen for the litany of sacrifice, we'll ask Baba Katabasi to come forward and help us pay our bills.
Yes. Yes, indeed. We've enjoyed some wonderful music by Sounds of Maat. The ancestors are indeed present and with us. There's a great deal of just warmth and energy, wonderful historical tribute.
Yes.
By Mama Keisha.
Yeah.
Now, you know, historical tributes are designed to kind of whet your appetite and encourage you to go and do additional study and research on a person of interest. And I always find the historical tribute so informative. You know, you get so much information, you find out about people that you have that you didn't know of. You know, even though you may have already read a lot of stuff, you can't read and you can't cover it all.
Right.
So a wonderful historical tribute. And now, as we prepare to move to the litany of sacrifice, and again, this is a time that allow us to pay bills, to keep the lights on, keep the water on, to make repairs, and try to provide a fitting setting for our school here and for the congregation when they come into the sanctuary to be comfortable and be in an environment that feeds and uplifts their spirituality. And we have more things to do, but you know, we do need money for some of the things that we want to do. So as you get your contributions together, the litany of sacrifice. Save us, O Holy One, by your name. Vindicate us by your might. Hear my prayer, divine protector. Listen to the words of my mouth. How can we repay the Holy One for the gifts that have been given to us? We will lift up the cup of salvation and call upon the God of our ancestors. We will fulfill our vows to our Creator in the presence of all our people. Gladly we bring our sacrifices to you. We will praise your name, O Amin Ra, for it is good.
Yes.
Moja, unity. We will strive to maintain unity in the family, community, nation, and race.
We shall strive, maintain, create, and speak for ourselves.
Ujima, collective work and responsibility. We shall build and maintain our communities together. Our brothers and sisters' problems shall be ours to solve together.
Together we shall build and maintain all businesses and together prosper.
Nia, purpose. We shall make our collective vocation the building and development of our community and the restoration of our people to our traditional greatness.
Creativity. We shall do as much as we can in any way we can to leave our community more beautiful and beneficial than when we inherited it.
Imani, faith. We will believe with all our hearts in our God, our people.
and in the righteousness and victory of our struggle.
Shake. Thank you for your participation. Excuse me. And now the places where you can send your contributions, places where you can access and make a contribution. You can go to community.org for Oakland. There are some financial links that you can utilize there. And at Sacramento, sacramento.org, the same thing. There are electronic links there that will accept contributions. And you can see the mailing address on the up on the screen as well. And so as you take that information, as you collect your contributions, I'll have a few words of prayer to close this litany of sacrifice out. O Holy One, divine creator, giver of all things, ancestor spirits up in here.
Yes.
Accounted for and present.
Yes.
Holy One, we thank you for these contributions. We thank you for each and every one that made a financial contribution, that can contribute their skill, their time, and their talent, because it takes all of that to make the Woolsey community work and function. And so we thank you, O Holy One. We thank you for those who wanted to give, but weren't able to give. And we pray that their conditions will change and that they will be able to contribute and share again with some money, some time, and some talent. We accept it all and we're thankful for it all. It's been a wonderful service up to this point. And so hold your place and prepare yourself for the one that will come with a message that you need to hear. And take that message and go forward for the rest of the day, the rest of the week, and be back with us again next week at this time. This is my prayer. Ashe, Amen Ra. Ashe, Amen Ra. Ashe, Amen Ra.
All right, we'll say, are we ready?
Ready.
Are we ready to hear the one that has bringing us the message today?
Ready.
I can tell he's ready. He's sitting in the corner smiling. He just got up. Okay, so I'm going to bring to the microphone the lead minister of Woolsey, Oakland. You know him as Minister Malley. Minister Malley, come and give us our words for this.
That's called my entry music.
Sounding good.
A while ago, it was raining. It was dark. It was cloudy.
Yeah.
And then we had a minor miracle. Mama Keisha brought the sun out.
Yeah.
Y'all don't get me. Y'all don't feel me. This is the beginning of Women's Month. And what a better tribute than to remind us, even if the record books don't speak to it, even if some people don't speak to it, we know.
Yeah,
We know
yeah.
better than anybody else should know
Right, come on.
how powerful, how important, how meaningful women are in our community.
Yeah.
That women are in our history, that women are in our families. There would not be us without them folks. And we don't need the history books to remind us and tell us this, but we do need each other to continue not to forget and to hold them up high. Because I know there's a whole lot of men here wouldn't even have their shirts on straight. Okay, I won't tell it. If it wasn't for some women folk getting us up and showing us where the mirror is.
Or be in the mirror.
Yeah, tell us where the mirror is. Yeah, but the sound like the microphone is out.
That
It
handheld
won't
one
stop me,
sounded good
but
though.
in just in case other folks want to hear. I want
Yeah.
to share with you all something that we might take for granted. Something we might take for granted. One of the things that I used to always pay attention to when we open up our services, and Minister Alicia is really good at it, where we say who we are and what we believe. Y'all remember that?
Yeah.
See, I ain't been here that long,
Right.
but I do recall that one of the important things we always do is we always establish what we believe
Come on.
and who we are.
Yeah.
See, we don't take it for granted that everybody may think like we think.
All right.
They may understand what we understand. And so maybe we might need a little bit of a reminder about who we be.
Come on now. Yeah.
Because see, we have been called out, in case you didn't know. Because what we understand about ourselves and our history and our culture is different.
Yeah.
Many of us have been, I won't call us brainwashed, although it is a lot like it, is that for centuries, other folks have told us who we are.
Right.
They've taught us how to think. And it ain't surprising that many of us are struggling, sick, confused, and lost.
Come on now.
Because that information was bad in the first place. It wasn't intended to help us be better people.
Come on.
And so I want this morning to share with you all something that we tend to say a lot, but I wonder if we really understand what we're talking about. Is that okay with y'all this morning?
Go ahead.
Come on with
You
it.
know, one of the things, see, because in case you don't know, I was raised by two women. My mother and my auntie raised me. Okay. And one of the things they were really good at was telling us how to be real, how to be honest, even when it wasn't that comfortable.
Okay now.
And one of the principles they stood up for is don't even bother to open your mouth if you can't speak the truth. Okay, y'all hear? You hear me where I'm starting now?
Right.
Don't even open your mouth if you can't speak to the truth. And one of the things that we have been not educated correctly about is how and who and what we stand on. What do we stand for? Now, I know probably many of you have figured it out for yourself, but you know that we talk about Maat and we say that word a lot. Is that what you stand on? Because if that is true, maybe you have not understood what really you're saying.
Right.
See, it's easy to say the word.
Come on.
It's easy to say that particular piece, word that we share. But how many of y'all really understand what it's supposed to mean? See, there's a song that I grew up with in the Baptist church. We used to talk about standing on the promises, because it meant something about where you stand and what do you stand for. Because I was also told by some women folk, if you don't know how to stand, you'll fall for anything.
Come on now.
Come on.
Teach good. Teach good.
Yeah.
Say it again.
See, yeah, I should say that again, because that also explains how come a lot of us struggle. Because when you're not clear about where you stand and what you stand on,
Right.
you go for a whole lot of mess. And it ain't surprising that then means you fall for a lot of mess. Uh-oh. Okay, well, I'll talk to y'all, David. Okay. I don't want to bad. But understand, standing on something is supposed to mean something
That's right.
more than a phrase.
Come on now.
And standing on Maat means you have been called out to stand on and for something.
Come on. He's good.
So to explain that, and I know I don't want to take a few days, so I want to make this real to the point, is standing on Maat, what does it actually mean? And Maat, first of all, we have to understand, what is Maat? Well, I will refer you to a particular page in a book called Maat. It's one of my special books. It's not part of our list of sacred texts,
Yeah.
yet it should be.
Yeah.
Yet, right on. Because for me, it explains a lot of the things that I'm still trying to understand about the process of who we be.
Come on
Is
now.
y'all okay with that?
Yes, sir.
No, I'm not an expert. So
Come on.
you was looking for that.
Tell the truth.
Okay.
Yeah.
You just missed. But I do have an idea. Page 206
Well,
in the book Maat. Their system of morality naturally stemmed for an understanding of and appreciation for life and the cycle.
Yeah.
Real simple. I ain't trying to get heavy. Maat is about the standards of morality that you explain the life cycle.
Come on.
First of all, you're gonna have to suspend your English, American, European-based understanding, because it's not linear. The life cycle is a wave
Come on.
that goes around and comes back around. And in nature, you see it. There's birth, there's a living, there's death, and then there's an on return. Because in the death, there's a foundation that provides more life. Y'all with me yet?
Come on
Yeah.
now.
Am I going too fast?
No.
All right.
You're right on.
So when it comes to Maat represents that same cycle naturally in a moralistic way. Not with commandments, not with rules, not with laws, but guiding principles that should help you through the cycles of life. It's supposed to make you live better,
All right.
not look better,
Right.
although it's not supposed to necessarily even make you sound better, but it is supposed to help you live better.
Come on.
So that you are in line with a cycle of life that should perpetuate living.
Come on.
So that your ending is not the ending.
Come on.
It's a part of the cycle that continues life. Am everybody with me?
yes.
Come on.
Y'all folks with me online? Understand, it's just that simple. Maat represents the moral principles that should guide you around the living. It don't tell you what to do.
Come on.
It suggests what works best for you. Uh-oh. Now I know many folks coming out that Christian Catholic guilt heritage. Think you're supposed to be told what to do and what happens to you if you don't do what the law says you do.
Right.
See, that's the difference between African philosophy and European philosophy. See, European philosophy wants to punish you. It wants to influence you by scaring you into doing what's supposed to be right. Because if you don't, ooh-wee. African philosophy says, look, I don't even need to really tell you what to do if you simply pay attention to life.
Come on.
Okay,
Tell the
let's
truth.
start right there.
All right. All right. break
If
it
you
down.
simply open your eyes, open your ears, activate your senses, life and the nature of life will tell you what's in line and what's out of line,
Come on.
what's right and what's wrong,
Yeah.
what's morally sound and what isn't.
Right.
That's why it's a guiding principle, not a demanding law. Mm. Now, some of you, if you keep being educated by the wrong people, keep thinking you need somebody to tell you what to do. That's called submission of your will. Y'all, maybe, okay. I won't scare you. But understand, you can voluntarily let other people dictate to you your life. They'll tell you who you are, what you are, who you're supposed to be, how you're supposed to be. And they're the worst examples of anything they would be suggesting to you.
Come on. Tell the truth. Tell the truth.
Yeah, see, it isn't do what I say. Remember how our older folks used to tell us, you know, do what I say, not what I, not what you see. Don't believe your lying eyes. Just go ahead and do what we tell you to do. Well, see, the warping of that is that what it's telling you is not to pay attention to the behavior. Just let somebody tell you what's right or wrong. Not based on what you see, not based on what is real, but what they suggest you should do according to some rules they don't even know that well because somebody else told them that. So we've handed down generations of following rules that we don't even have connection to. But other folks would say, yeah, that's where you're supposed to live. And we nod our heads and go along with it. Maat says, stop that. Maat says, life and nature guides you, not individuals. Let me read a little bit more. There are life lived fully in truth, justice, fairness, balance, reciprocity, and accountability. You know, I really love how things fall in because there was a statement about the ancestors showing up, showing out, and holding us accountable. They don't just come for our entertainment. They come because they're also here to remind you of your responsibility to the legacy they've laid out. Oh, y'all don't feel me today. See, you don't just do a job. You don't just show up somewhere. You got to also understand there's reasons. Come on, young Sakar. That's right. There are reasons why you in the house.
Come on now.
It's some people who have laid out a legacy before you got here. Not just yesterday, but years ago. And because of that, you got an accountability. See, what I love about our elders, and slowly but surely I'm admitting I'm one. My kids remind me all the time, I fight it, but it's true, I am older now, is that we know firsthand the history. Firsthand. Some of us don't even appreciate how many of us are living history.
Come on now.
Maat says, if you pay attention to the world around you, Nature gives you a pretty good sampling of what to do and what not to do.
Yeah.
There's a balance. There's a right order.
Yeah.
There's a fairness, and there's a reciprocity to what you should do and what you should not do. You have the freedom as an adult to choose. And it does come with accountability. It's that you can choose whatever it is you want to choose, but don't act like it comes without some consequences. Now, y'all sit with that for a second. See, real freedom is to understand, yes, I'm grown. Yes, I do what I want to do. You also should accept what happens when you do what you want to do. See, that's the part a lot of them younger folks ain't really want to hear from us gray heads. That when we say, well, yeah, you grown now, sure, do your thing. It comes with results. It comes with consequences. It comes with outcomes. Now, the process that we're talking about with Maat doesn't just stay with the guiding principles. There's also some live work. There's some things you got to do if you say you're in this process. Those are things you got to do.
That's
right. You hear me, Tanaway?
Come on.
So you just can't look good.
Right.
You just can't talk good.
Right.
There's some work you got to do too.
Come on now.
And when you do that, there's some tangible outcomes.
That's right.
Tangible, not intellectual, not something that really feels good, although it should, but something tangible, something real that should be noticeable, identifiable, and impacts the others around you because it ain't just for your benefit. Okay, y'all feeling me now?
Yeah.
See, my eye can't be just your private joke. You can't be a follower of my eye and you be the only one having a benefit.
Come on now.
Because then that means something's wrong with your practice. Uh-oh, I didn't mean to say that now. Later, baby, okay? But understand, if you're the only one benefiting, it's not because of the others. It's because something you're doing is not fully within the principles of Maat. Because Maat doesn't get successful unless those around you get a benefit too. And I know that's hard to hear because in this society, that individualistic, I got it, it's all about me attitude gets emphasized. And it's not by accident.
Right.
It's so that you run around doing that while they keep benefiting. You're still looking for an answer.
That's right. That's
You
right.
waste a whole lot of time walking around in circles, wondering why you in circles, not even recognizing you are in circles because of that game that they have been real successful at, that they play on us. The challenge of Maat is to take those principles, apply them to us, but not for just the benefit of us. It's so that I should be able to identify, I get along better with all of you too.
Come on.
Clear.
Come on.
I know you didn't want to hear that this morning, because I know it would be easier for you to just look at everybody else and say, what's your problem? But the reality is, my best is to identify by what you do that benefits others. And it ain't just reciprocity. Please don't get stuck on one. Because reciprocity is not back and forth. It's an exchange of values, of benefits, of I get some good, you get some good. And if we practice in Guza Saba, we understand it should be community-wide. That it shouldn't be just mine.
That's it.
Come on now.
Community, yeah.
Yeah, see, because my private joy is pretty lonely. Especially if it's just me, joy. If I'm the only one celebrating,
Yeah.
is that really a celebration?
No.
I ain't never had a good birthday party all by myself.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe you, okay, I won't speak for other folks. No, okay, at least me and Stabby, we need other folks to celebrate with us. Especially in good dominoes. Just, I'm yet to see anybody play solo dominoes. But that's a whole nother story. The Lucia advises us that there is a method to the madness. That there should be something we can really tangibly see. Let me give you an example. Page 60. Better is a bushel which God gives you than 5,000 wrongfully gotten. Shall I say it slower?
Yeah.
You might, yeah, okay. Well, Sadi's benefit. I know y'all got it, but let me get it so Sadi gets this again. Better than a bushel given by God than 5,000 wrongfully gotten. That means there should be some principles about what we do. And the benefit is measurable. Oh, you thought it's something only in your head? No, it should be measurable. It should be something real. There's a third piece of this process, so I'm gonna move it quickly. You have the Maat and the guidance. And then you have Gusasaba, which is the external relationships. And then you have virtues. See, there should be an outcome.
Come on now.
If you do what you're supposed to do, there should be a relationship built inwardly and outwardly. And then there should be an outcome. And you ain't got to wait till glory day. I ain't mashing on Christian. They wait till everything comes to heaven. You should have your heaven before you die. Because of what you have created in the system. If you're living correctly, if you're doing correctly, then you have correct relationships. And in the correct relationships, there should be some outcomes that everybody can smile about. Oh, come on now. Everybody can see it. Now that you can't expect everybody to admit it, that's a whole other issue. Everybody ain't gonna celebrate. You're not gonna have a parade down international celebrating how good you do this. But there should be something measurable that improves in your life. Some of the virtues, I will control my thinking. I won't engage in gossip. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. Some of y'all like gossip. All right. There are measurables that come with the system. When you do the right moral things and they're shared on the outside, then there are virtues that you develop. You want to hear a few of them?
Right.
It didn't say maybe. It said must. Must. I will control my actions. I will have devotion of purpose. I will have faith in the ability of the master to teach the truth. I will have faith in my ability to assimilate the truth. I will be free. No, let me get to the other one. I'll have faith in my ability to wield the truth. I will be free from resentment under the experience of persecution. That's personally challenging to me. There's a whole lot of y'all I'm still mad at. Well, I'll tell the truth. I ain't perfect yet. I'm working on it. Me and Scotty go back and forth all the time. And I've been wondering, why, God, why are you doing this to me? Why'd you bring him in my life? I will be free from resentment under the experience of wrongdoing. See, that's personal. Because I got to look in the mirror and I can't say I'm perfect. I can't tell it y'all all wrong, but I'm cool. I will cultivate the ability to distinguish right from wrong. And I will cultivate the ability to tell the real from the unreal.
Come on now.
See, I like that one, because see, there's a whole lot of mistakes and mysteries and fantasies and myths that go around.
Yeah.
But see, there's only certain real and there's certain unreal. Certain challenges to reality. For instance, if you don't believe in gravity, stand on the roof and jump off. I ain't gonna debate with you. I'm not gonna argue what will happen. Let's see.
Walk off.
Not what, you can walk off. You don't have to jump. Okay. I think you should jump. That way it'll be a little bit more dramatic. You can scream as you go down. It's real. Understand, we are challenged about what's real and what's ain't. But the challenge ain't really about us. It's about people telling us that.
Come on.
Convincing us of that. Trying to tell us what is real. And we gotta stop listening to them damn voices. You understand? We gotta stop letting people
Come on.
determine for us what is real.
Yeah.
Because you know it ain't worked well for us. Amen?
Amen.
Amen.
Right.
So let me wrap this up. Because I like I said, we go a few days on this. Because when it comes to Maat, it is not real simple. I've been short with it, but it's not simple.
Right.
But the basics of Maat is this. You play how you practice. Musicians, you understand me?
Amen.
You feel me, don't you, Dave? Yeah, see, they got away without it today. But they know on a regular basis, they gotta practice well.
That's
in
right.
order to play well.
That's right.
And it ain't just on them. I ain't counting on them. They understand what I'm talking about. Because that also means y'all.
Yeah.
See, you can't talk about you a follower of Maat, but you don't practice it. And it's hard to practice what you don't understand.
What you don't know.
Ooh. That's why I love Ustadi. See, because the truth is, I'm not gonna pick a name, but there's more than one person sitting there even today, listening to my voice, who really doesn't understand mine.
Come on now.
The shame of it is not that. The shame of it is to not be willing to get honest about that. Because we didn't, but we're born in mine. We weren't. It's something we had to come to. We had to be made aware of. Unless you guys are some special folks, I didn't get black from birth. I was born black, but I didn't know about being black for a long time.
Come on now.
There was a lot of shame in my family around being black. Well, okay, it was just my family. Okay. But understand, rather than you put on airs and pretend the truth ain't there, it's better to come to that reality, to understand we have more lessons to gain about Maat and about how that impacts who we be.
Yeah.
It's good, it's a great celebration, but we got to start with the honesty that it's a challenge to understand something that the outside world continues to distort, continues to not want you to believe. Because if we practice Maat, They couldn't play with us like they tried to. They couldn't hold us down like they tried to. They can't disrespect us and disengage us from practicing life on life's terms.
Come on now.
Mm.
Come on, teach.
See, the nature of Maat is the cycle of life. And when you're out of line with that, it tends to speak for itself. Much like these storms. I don't know if you've been paying attention, but the weather has been a bit unusual.
Unusual, yes.
That's not a coincidence.
Yeah.
It's actually, I believe, a representation of what is going on with the world.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot of contention. Now, true, it's not the first time there's been war and unrest and so forth.
Right.
But you know, if any of y'all come from the type of households like I came from, there's this called this breaking point when mama just not gonna take what y'all been doing. And when she say y'all, she talk about all of y'all. And I remember them, all of y'all, black people. Okay, well, just my family, okay? You understand? I took many a whooping where I wasn't really the initial cause of the trouble, but my mama got to that breaking point. We said, you know what? I'm sick of this it. And I know y'all know what I mean that goes in front of the it. And trust me, when she got to that point, all behinds were ready to be served. No, she gonna get all the ones. Until the right one. Come on now.
Get them all, you gonna get the right.
Oh, it's much simpler for her to just whoop everybody. And she ain't got to sort it out.
Right.
You will sort it out. Next time, I'll be raising my hand. Everybody did that. She did it before I take another group whooping. There you go. So, no. See, and that's nature right there. People can understand it at every age. Because even if you're not naturally getting the belt now, Mother Nature is doing some spanking.
Yeah.
And if we don't get back in line, if we're not in balance, we're gonna be caught out in the cold.
Yeah.
And then it'll be too late. You sit there and talk about, mama, please. I usually got me a little extra set of weapons. Because at that point, my mama wasn't negotiating no more. Just my family, okay, I understand. Okay, she didn't want to hear no noise no more. Instead, the only sound she wanted was you laying there across the bed and the sound of them strokes until she got tired. And with I have 6 sisters and 2 brothers, she get tired pretty fast. So I always try to be in the middle. Well, at least you like wore down a little bit by the time she got to me. And the ones that was early, I felt for them. I really did. Well, of course, that's just my family. But y'all experiencing stuff. Yeah, oh, okay. That means you got it all. Oh, poor brother David. I feel for him. I was so happy I had other brothers and sisters. And I would see to my younger ones caught on, I used to volunteer them. I was like, come on, you know, she'll get it out the way because she's trying to save it up for the rest of it. Knowing that wasn't true. Because you know, black mamas, they were just building up that momentum. They just getting warmed up. You start off, you're like, now, number 4, you come here right now. And she'd remember all the things she was mad about 2 weeks ago. Oh, y'all don't hear me. Well, Maat, oh, thank you, sir. I'm glad you hear it. See, Maat is the tribute of Mother Nature. Now, you have the freedom to follow it. And there may not be some direct consequences. You may not wake up tomorrow and your leg fall off. That's not necessarily the outcome, but your life and the challenge of having what it is that the divine has intended for all of us as children of God. If you've been reading these texts If you follow the litanies, there's pieces that are hints about Maat. At the end of the litany of affirmation, we're children of God. The litany of sacrifice, all of that are expressions about the benefits of Maat.
Yeah.
And we all can get some. It's not discriminatory. Although there's some I wouldn't, I'd kick you out the boat. But anyway, the truth is, and it's good for me too, is the divine is the one doing the judging. Because
Come on now, come on.
so we all have a fairness, a fair opportunity to get on board. There is no designated time limit,
Come on.
but nature has a way of the clock running, whether you're aware of it
Come on
or
now.
not.
Yeah.
See, I also come from this school that I didn't trust that one day my mother would get tired of whooping us. Y'all don't feel me.
Yeah.
See, I didn't trust that one day my mama would just get tired of whooping us. I pretty much figured out that I'll be tired of taking whoopings before my mama is tired of giving whoopings. Now, that's just my experience. I know I'm a bit older. Some of y'all ain't know what I'm talking about. But understand, that's the thing with Mother Nature. You don't want to get to that point where Mother Nature stops giving you opportunity
Come on now.
to change. You don't want to wait till they're tired, because that not be a good thing.
Right.
If Mother Nature gives up on us,
Yeah.
there might go world.
Come on now.
That just might be that consequence. So this morning, leading into this afternoon, I want that to be with you. That when we talk about Maat, we're talking about a system that is naturally oriented and divine. But it's not rules. It's not laws. It's guidelines. There's a difference between guidance and direction. Direction is somebody other than you telling you what to do.
That's it. That's it.
Guidelines are about you being aware of your options and making really good
I
choices.
see.
And that's what you work on. That's what you study,
Yeah.
not in who's telling you the best and whether or not I believe them. It's how do I get better at making the right choices? How do I get better at making the right decisions? How do I get better
Yeah.
at living life the way life is supposed to be lived?
All right.
Not according to you, as much as I like you, as much as I care about you, but it's according to the divineness that God has placed in all of us.
Yeah. Yes, yeah.
I don't need you to tell me what to do, and you surely don't need me to tell you what to do, because God has already implanted in us that understanding about right order. Y'all didn't remember that? That's why it's a principle, right order.
Yeah.
It's right because it's right for you and for those who interact with you. That's one of those paradoxes. It ain't all about you, but it does start with you. Ashe?
Ashe.
Ashe?
Ashe.
Ashe!
Ashe, Ashe, Ashe,
Ashe.
I'm fired up. I am fired up. I thought the music got me fired up this morning, and it did. And then I thought Mama Keisha's the historical tribute put me over the top. But now I'm fired up. This message fired me up. If you're fired up, let Minister Malley know. That's got a great show.
Okay, so, we'll say it's been around for 43 years.
All right.
And for those 43 years, some of us, I'm not one of them, but some of us have been here for 43 years doing the work of WOSE. And then some of us came later on and we're all doing the work of WOSE. If you're in the building or if you are on Zoom and you want to join up and help do the work of WOSE, let me say to you, now is the time.
Yes.
Do we want you? Yes, we want you. We need you. We need more people doing the work of WOSE.
Yes.
So if you're in the building, raise your hand. We'll come get you. There's nobody in the building. If you're on Zoom, raise your hand or let somebody know and somebody on Zoom will come and talk to you. So,
Yes.
all right. So I now want to bring us to, we're going to come together and I want you to, if you want to come forward, we're going to sing, lift every voice and sing. And we're going to be led in it by Sounds of Maat.
So,
I'm sorry.
make sure that you acknowledge the presence of the ancestors that we solicited to be a part of. They like that recognition.
Ashe.
And they did make a difference.
Ashe. Ashe. So Brother Minister Malley, who's always leading, and that's a good thing, and always reminding and directing and guiding, has said to make sure that we recognize and acknowledge the ancestors that have come to join us this morning.
Yes, yes.
We know that we feel their presence. We know that they're a part of this. We count on them to come be with us every Sunday, and we know that they're here today. And we thank you, ancestors, for your participation, and for your guidance and your knowledge this morning. Okay, now lift every voice. Can I get people to come forward? Say with me.
Bring with the harmony of liberty, and our rejoicing rise as the blessings rise, and every sound out as a roaring sea. Sing a song full of the hope that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the blessings have brought us. A new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won.
And as we've been saying here in WOSE for 43 years, we are
One people,
with one faith,
one faith,
one aim,
one aim,
one love,
one love,
one God,
one God,
one God,
one God,
one God.
one God.
And let us call on that God and using the name that we have used for centuries. We say, as Imhotep would say, in tune, out of tune, we worship the one God. And remember, you are the most beautiful people on the face of this earth. Ashe. Thank you, Jose.